VHS tape secrets in the attic. I was at my grandmother's house, helping her move furniture around. She became my legal guardian after the death of my mother when I was a young child. I'm all grown up now, but I've been staying with her ever since my car accident a few months earlier. She helped nurse me back into health, so I made an effort to alleviate her of any and all physical tasks. I felt it was the least I could do. One day while up in the attic, I accidentally knocked over a box. The box was filled with VHS tapes with the oldest dating back to 1982. All that was written on them was the year. There was a TV in the attic as well because we used the attic as more like a functioning room than a storage space. So I decided to play the oldest tape. I expected to see happy memories or home videos, anything other than what I was witnessing recorded onto this tape. The video starts with whoever is holding the camera filming a woman sitting alone at a small table at a coffee shop. She's reading. The camera was zoomed in on her hair glowing in the light. The tape then skips to a new setting which looks like downtown Miami somewhere. I can see the back of the same woman from before, walking down the street oblivious to the person trailing and filming behind her. The sky is now a dark gray. I can see lights from passing cars reflecting off her shiny boots. The camera is clambering and rubbing up against the jacket of the cameraman. He or she's not far from her, but is far enough away to show that he or she's not with her, clearly stalking her. The scene lasted maybe 5 minutes of the walking until it shifted to a scene of the woman now bound and stowed in the trunk of a car. She was taped up, unable to speak. All I could hear was the sound of heavy rainfall, accompanied by her screaming and crying. Her muffled panic looked so realistic, my heart began to race. My spine became frozen. I couldn't open my eyes any wider. Any moment the film could shift to something so much worse, so morbid, so life-changing, and I could do nothing but watch in horror. I saw a blue-gloved hand quickly extend from behind the camera, slam the trunk door closed, trapping her inside. I almost jumped out of my chair. The next scene skips to the woman now beaten and bloody while tied to a chair. The location looks to be a warehouse somewhere. The only light coming from a single light bulb above the woman, illuminating pools of red blood splattered all at her feet. I can hear the poor woman moaning in pain underneath the tape covering her mouth. I can also hear something shifting around on the floor, like someone adjusting their stance. It seemed manic. I could hear clambering of metal, like tools or some kind of objects being unpacked from a bag. My stomach now fully turned. Suddenly, the kidnapper walks into frame, showing only his back. His head was completely covered and using what looked like a Halloween mask. He carried a blade in his right hand. My heart completely halted. The stalker held her drooping head up, tilted her face upward, and began to slice her throat from left all the way to the right. She squirmed and gargled in her desperate and useless attempt to survive. I had never seen so much blood in my life. The killer then takes off his mask and stares into the camera, flashing a toothy grin. The film then abruptly stops. I believe I was in shock. I was breathing heavy and felt like I had just watched a real snuff film. My thoughts were racing in my mind, and I didn't know what to do. All of a sudden, I heard a shoe scuffle behind me. I looked behind me, and my grandmother was standing there watching me. I broke down immediately and started telling her what I had found and the horrific things I had just watched on this VHS tape in the attic. She tried to console me, struggling to form words through the river of tears streaming down her face. She mumbled something under her breath. She said, "I knew I should have just thrown those things away." She looked me directly in the eyes. Crying, she said to me, "I didn't want you to ever be reminded of what you were before the accident. Subscribe and follow for more."